The Deep Dive, Microsoft's MAI, your shortcut to AI expertise, or so they say. We're diving into Microsoft's latest and greatest, their new AI model, MAI. The hype machine, well, it tells us it's going to be everywhere, like infused into everything, from spreadsheets to search engines, the digital equivalent of oxygen or something. But is it just marketing hot air? Or could this be, the AI that finally makes good on the promise to like weave AI into the fabric of our lives? Let's find out. First things first, what exactly is MAI? Essentially, it's an AI model. It claims expertise across the usual suspects: natural language processing, computer vision, and predictive analytics. Sounds familiar, right? On the surface, I mean. It doesn't sound all that different from the current AI darlings like OpenAI's O1 and DeepSeek's R1. Microsoft, though, they seem really keen on this idea of integration potential, which, let's be honest, is corporate speak for we're going to shove this into every product we can. Whether that's a good thing or just another way for Microsoft to further its reach into our digital lives, well, that's something we'll have to ponder as we go. Let's size up the competition for a sec. OpenAI's O1. It's earned its stripes, in the world of academic research, specifically in those mind-bending realms of science and mathematics. It's the kind of AI that makes scientists drool, and the rest of us go, huh. The key here is deep reasoning abilities. O1 excels at tackling problems that require multiple steps of logic, the kind that usually make us humans reach for a strong cup of coffee. On the other side of the ring, we have DeepSeek's R1. This contender takes a reasoning-first approach, making it a whiz kid at math and coding. In fact, it often goes head-to-head with O1 in these arenas, which begs the question, how many brainy AIs does the world really need? R1 does have a unique trick up its sleeve, though, a mixture of experts' architecture. Imagine your brain not having to fire on all cylinders for every single task. That's essentially what R1 does. It activates only the parts of its neural network that are necessary for each specific task, making it incredibly efficient, a bit like choosing the right tool for the job, if you will. Now, where does MAI fit into all of this? Well, Microsoft, in its usual fashion, has been rather cagey about the specifics. We don't know exactly what kind of architecture MAI is sporting or how it stacks up against the heavyweights. In terms of raw processing power, early whispers suggest that it's at least on par with O1 and R1 in terms of capabilities. But those are whispers, not facts. So can MAI really go toe-to-toe with the titans of AI? And what, if anything, makes it stand out? The answer might lie in a word that gets tossed around a lot these days: accessibility. Microsoft seems to be banking on the idea that they can make MAI the AI for the masses. Think about it. O1, with all its brilliance, is pretty much locked away in the ivory towers of research labs and the server farms of tech giants. It's complex and resource-hungry. Not exactly something you'd whip out on your laptop. R1, while more open source, still requires a fair bit of technical know-how to really get the most out of it. It's not exactly plug-and-play AI for the everyday user. Microsoft, on the other hand, has a massive advantage here.
They already have billions of users plugged into their ecosystem. Windows, Office 365, Azure. If they can truly integrate MAI seamlessly into these platforms, well, that's a potential user base neither O1 or R1 can even dream of. Imagine a world where doctors are using MAI-powered diagnostic tools. Students are getting personalized learning experiences tailored by AI. And even small businesses are leveraging MAI to streamline their operations. Is this the utopian future we've been promised? Or just another layer of tech-driven complexity? What do you think? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a closer look at the nuts and bolts of these AI models. Efficiency, as they say, is king. And when it comes to AI, efficiency translates to doing more with less computing power. We've already touched on R1's mixture of experts approach, a clever bit of architectural design that allows it to be incredibly efficient. It's like having a Swiss Army knife of neural networks, each part perfectly suited to a particular task. OpenAI's O1, however, takes a different route. They focused on scaling up traditional transformer architectures,
Which, in layman's terms, means throwing more computing muscle at the problem. It's a brute force approach that yields impressive results, but comes at a cost: massive energy consumption. And the need for serious hardware. It's the AI equivalent of using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Effective, sure. Subtle, not so much. So where does MAI stand in this battle of efficiency? Well, Microsoft, as you might have guessed, is playing their cards close to the chest. We don't have concrete details on MAI's architecture or its efficiency metrics, but it's safe to assume that they're aiming for a balance between performance and practicality. After all, they're not building an AI for a research lab. They're building an AI for the masses. And an AI that requires a supercomputer to run is about as appealing as a smartphone with a 1-hour battery life.
So the million-dollar question is, what's the best path to AI efficiency? Is it clever design, like R1's mixture of experts, or is it raw power, like a O1's scaling approach? It's a question, probably, that'll be debated, in those tech circles for years to come. But let's shift gears for a minute. Talk about something a bit more
Down to earth, real-world applications. Because at the end of the day, all this talk about processing power and efficiency, it's just academic. Unless these AI models can actually do something useful, something that solves a real problem for real people. OpenAI, now, they seem content with letting O1 be the brainiac of the research world. It's busy churning out scientific breakthroughs, solving complex equations that would make most of us break out in a cold sweat. Admirable, sure, but it's not exactly going to revolutionize the way we order pizza or book a flight anytime soon. DeepSeek, on the other hand, they're aiming to bring the power of advanced reasoning and problem solving to a slightly wider audience, specifically those who navigate the complex worlds of software development and data science. Their R1 model, it's like a super-powered assistant for anyone who wrangles data or algorithms on a daily basis. And because it's relatively efficient, you can run on a wider range of hardware, making it a more viable option for smaller teams and independent developers. Democracy in action, at least in the AI world. But then there's Microsoft, and as we've already established, they're not known for thinking small. With MAI, they're not just targeting a specific industry or research niche. They're aiming for nothing less than total digital domination. They're talking about weaving MAI into like every nook and cranny of our online existence, from the mundane tasks of Microsoft Office to the cloud-based behemoth that is Azure, and even into our online searches via Bing. One has to wonder, is there anything Microsoft doesn't want to control? But let's entertain the possibility for a moment. What if they actually pull it off? What if MAI becomes like so deeply embedded in our digital lives that we can't function without it? Imagine your emails write themselves, your spreadsheets auto-populate with insightful data, and your search engine not only answers your questions, but also anticipates what you'll ask next. Is this a glimpse into a glorious, hyper-efficient future, or a slow descent into a world where we're all just, cogs in a in a Microsoft-powered machine?
Of course, this level of AI integration, it comes with a whole host of questions. And I'm not talking about the technical ones. What about privacy? What about bias? What about the potential for misuse? These aren't just hypothetical questions. They're real concerns that need to be addressed. Because let's face it, handing over the reins of our digital lives to an AI, no matter how smart it is, it's a pretty big gamble. But for Microsoft, the potential rewards probably outweigh the risks if they can make MAI the go-to AI for businesses, governments, and everyday users. Well, let's just say the world will be looking at a very different tech landscape. Whether that's a landscape we want to inhabit is a question we all need to start asking ourselves, and soon. Now, let's circle back to this concept of accessibility for a moment. One of the key advantages Microsoft has with MAI is quite simply reach. They already have a captive audience of billions through their existing platform. That's a built-in user base that most AI developers would, kill for. But accessibility.
It isn't just about numbers. It's about usability. If MAI is going to be truly transformative, it can't be some esoteric tool that only the tech elite can understand. It needs to be intuitive, user-friendly, and accessible to anyone, regardless of their technical prowess. Think of it like the iPhone, the AI world. It means designing interfaces that are simple and straightforward, providing documentation that even your grandma can understand, and offering support and training resources that cater to a wide range of learning styles. It's a tall order, but if anyone can pull it off, it's probably Microsoft. They've been in the business of making complex technology palatable to the masses for decades. But let's not forget that MAI is still relatively young. AI model is still under development, still evolving, and that means its capabilities, its potential, are likely to change dramatically over time. This is just the beginning of the story. One of the key things to watch for is how MAI measures up against its rivals, O1 and R1. Can it match their raw processing power?
Can it compete in terms of efficiency and accuracy? Only time. And a lot of testing will tell. Another interesting aspect to keep an eye on is how MAI gets implemented in the real world. What specific applications emerge, which industries embrace it and which ones resist it? Will live up to the hype of being the AI for everything, or will end up being a niche tool for specific tasks? And perhaps most importantly, we need to pay attention to who ultimately controls MAI and how it gets used. Will it be a force for good, empowering individuals and driving innovation? Or will it be another tool for big tech to further its reach and control? The future of MAI, indeed the future of AI as a whole, is far from certain. But one thing's for sure, it's a future we're all going to be a part of, whether we like it or not. So buckle up. It's going to be an interesting ride. So here we are, standing at the precipice of a potential AI revolution. Microsoft is betting big on MAI, pouring resources into development and hyping its potential to to reshape the digital landscape.
But amidst all the fanfare and marketing buzz, it's worth taking a step back and asking ourselves a few critical questions. What if MAI succeeds? Like beyond even Microsoft's wildest dreams. What if it becomes so deeply ingrained in our lives, so seamlessly integrated into our digital routines that we barely even notice it anymore? What if it starts making decisions for us, nudging us in certain directions, filtering our information, and optimizing our experiences based on on its vast knowledge of our preferences and behaviors? Is this the ultimate convenience, a utopia, where technology anticipates our needs and removes friction from our lives? Or is it a subtle form of control, a dystopia, where we cede our autonomy to an algorithm we can't fully understand? A world where choice becomes an illusion, carefully curated by lines of code and data points. These aren't just philosophical musings; they're questions we need to grapple with as AI becomes more powerful and pervasive. Because the future of AI.
Well, isn't some predetermined outcome? It's a future we're shaping right now. With every decision we make, every line of code we write, and every conversation we have about the role of AI in our lives. So as we stand on the verge of this brave new world of AI, let's proceed with a healthy dose of skepticism, a critical eye, and perhaps a touch of irony. Let's ask the tough questions, challenge the assumptions, and demand transparency from those who are shaping this technology. Let's not just blindly accept the promises of convenience and efficiency, but instead consider the
long-term implications of handing over control to algorithms. The future of AI. It's in our hands. Let's make sure we're building a future that serves humanity, not the other way around. Thank you very much for listening. Leave a like and subscribe. Until next time.